This is Aska Tanveer with Cries of Kashmir. It is a tragic that civilized nations have fallen from their lofty calling, namely human rights for all mankind. There is a sad commentary on the state of human rights all over the globe. It seems to me that until there evolves a generally accepted moral duty among peoples and nations to assist all victims of widespread human rights violations by force or other stiff retaliation, human rights enforcement mechanisms will operate haphazardly and whimsically for reasons unrelated to harm to the victims or the villainy of the perpetrators. It is the job of the members of civilized society and all human rights defenders to jumpstart that moral evolution. It is worth mentioning here that the India presents a wholly false picture of the situation in Kashmir. The agenda of the Indian government and its various mouthpieces to mislead the public about the conflict in and about Kashmir continues on unimpeded. At the same time, the people of Kashmir face the kind and extent of suffering that has not been inflicted on any other people in the part of the world. This is a direct result both of Indian sadism and international apathy. It is sad indeed that despite the fact that the entire world is fully aware of the magnitude of the tragedy in Kashmir, no power or group of powers have uttered a word, nor have they come forward to stop this modern day Holocaust in Kashmir. Article 9 of the International Covenant of Civil Political Rights, which India has ratified, states that no one shall be arbitrarily arrested or detained without trial. The Indian security forces are obligated to inform detained individuals of the reason for the arrest and to allow them access to a trial in a timely manner if the detention appears to be unlawful. Detainees are entitled to take proceedings to court and be fairly compensated according to ICCPR Article 9, 4 and 5. The people of Kashmir disappear into a dark gulag as regularly as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. According to the Association of Parents of Disappeared Persons, since 1989, approximately 8,000 to 10,000 Kashmiris have been disappeared into a black hole. Even the United States Country Report on Human Rights Practices India, issued on April 22, 2024, states according to human rights organizations, approximately 8,000 to 10,000 persons disappeared in the Jammu and Kashmir region between 1989 to 2006, allegedly attributed to government forces, paramilitary forces, and terrorist data documenting disappearances in Jammu and Kashmir since 2006 were limited. Arbitrary detentions and disappearances are taking place in Kashmir because India has authorized a police state reminiscent of the Gestapo in Kashmir. The Jammu and Kashmir Public Safety Act, the Armed Forces Special Power Act, and the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act are illustrative. Generally speaking, the law empowers the military and police in Kashmir to arrest, detain, search, wiretap, try and punish without material restraints. By way of illustrations, I refer to the case of Mohammad Yasin Malik, Shabir Ahmed Shah, Masarat Alam Bhatt, Asian Drabi, Sophie Fahmida, Nasreen Khurram Pervez, and many more. Under the AFSPA, the central government could designate a state or union territory or part of any region as a disturbed area, authorizing security forces in the state to use deadly force to maintain law and order and to arrest any person against whom reasonable suspicion existed. Without informing the detainee of the grounds for arrest, the law also provided security forces immunity from civilian persecution for acts of committed in regions under the AFSPA. Maya Rose Martin of American University wrote about arbitrary detention in Jammu and Kashmir that early in August 2019, the Indian government stripped Jammu and Kashmir of their special status under the Indian Constitution. Since then, nearly 4,000 residents of Jammu and Kashmir were arrested and detained without trial. These arrests were justified by Public Safety Act, which allow arrest to ensure public order. However, these detentions violate the Indian Constitution and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. India is not fulfilling its obligations to ensure of the right of the freedom from arbitrary detention and the right to a fair trial. It is well publicized that children as young as 9-year-old have been detained in Kashmir. This is the violation of Article 37 of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Article 37 protects children from arrest and detention. Expect as a mayor of last report. Harvard Law Review, Volume 134, Issue 7, dated May 2021, wrote the PSA has not only depicted the Kashmiris as dangerous but also, in collaboration with AFSPA, established a legal death zone critical to the operation of the settler regime. It is this zone where impunity and detention run rampant that Kashmiris are caged as an existential and demographic threats. Amnesty International, in its report issued on September 18, 2024, states that the Indian authorities must stop using restrictive travel bans and arbitrary detentions under the country's stringent anti-terror laws to intimidate critical dissenting voices from speaking out on Jammu and Kashmir. It is important to note that today the global community has a long and proud tradition of upholding the causes of human freedom and dignity. Kashmir calls urgently for initiatives in accordance with the tradition. We urge the community of nations to seize this opportunity to promote an initiative towards bringing about conditions necessary for the settlement of the Kashmir dispute.